How long had it been since you'd gone back to Belize?
It had been about 2 years and a half, closer to three,
Almost
like
three,
almost 3. Yeah.
which is a long
Yeah,
time.
it's pretty long. Like,
Yeah,
you never like,
especially for like a young guy,
I had never
single
expected to
guy.
be so far away, for
Yeah.
so long. Because coming
Yeah.
to Taiwan, it was like, okay, I get here, I'll be able to visit home,
Yeah.
if necessary.
Yeah.
But then COVID comes around, messes up everything, and then it gets to a point where it's like, okay, I'll just wait until I'm finished, then I can go home. And then, still had all those complications to get home.
Yeah.
So it was really good to finally land back home.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, finally, peace.
I think that especially when you're like, for me, when I was around your age and I would go back, I would go like almost every year because I always had to buy a return flight. So I'd almost go every year. So, after you get married and you have the wife and all that stuff, then, you get to go less. But it was for like a single guy, it's tough. That's a long time, man. And so for me, what I found is sometimes when I don't go back for a while, I feel like I get like a bit loopy. Like I get kind of like I miss my family, and I just feel it's not like a depression. I just feel like I'm missing a part of myself in my brain, and I'm kind of like, what? This is weird. So I gotta. I don't know if you felt like that by close to the end of that. I don't know, but that happens to me all the time.
And in a sense, yeah, but not so much. But it's more like when I got back, it's like everything just feels weird because you've been away for so long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, tell me about that, man. So going back to Belize, was there like a reverse culture shock almost? I want to talk about
really,
that.
really bad.
Tell me
it
about
hit
it.
me really bad because one, you already get used to, like, when I'm at home, I'm able to drive pretty much anywhere every day.
Yeah,
it's no problem because I will obviously prefer driving my own vehicle, well, my family's vehicle, versus taking public transportation.
Yeah.
So that's a plus. However, you get used to the convenience of Taiwan, the convenience of Taipei with, like, let's say, like the convenience stores being open 24/7. You want anything, you can go there anytime. But back in my town, because it's a very small town, because of COVID, stores started closing earlier and all of that. And even though the fact that things were back to normal per se, they were still closing early.
Okay. They got used to it.
Like a normal grocery store would be closed at like 8.
Okay.
In the past, it was 9, which isn't that much of a difference. But when you go from 24/7 and you go all the way down to 8 p.m., it's like, oh, man.
Actually, Canada is similar. And for me, it'd been over 5 years since I went back. And I also felt weird because it was great to see my family. The first thing was, they picked us up from the airport. And then we went on a ferry to the little island, to Vancouver Island. And the first thing I noticed was it's so quiet. And everybody's just, like, there are people there, but everybody, like, they just whisper. They talk really quietly, and they keep their really private, quiet conversations. And it was just so, I don't know, man. It was weird because it was almost like eerie. Like, what's happening here? It's like my brain is like, there's supposed to be like nonstop crazy background noise always, and I had to just stop and I told my mom, I'm like, man, it's very weird for me that it's so quiet.
For me, it was kind of actually the opposite because, I mean, when you live in a dorm with a bunch of other males, it's noise, right? Of course. Occasionally, like, guys from other rooms just randomly make a lot of noise, just shout in their room for no reason, because guys will be guys,
Of course, video games or who knows what they're doing.
Much.
Yeah.
And then but usually at night, like at certain parts of the night or certain parts of the day, it's generally quiet. Because of course they're not shouting like crazy people, like they're not madmen just shouting all day long. Yeah. But then when I get home, where I live, like the street is an unpaved street. So any car that drives on it, you're going to hear the noise from them shaking and then I have neighbors that would have dogs or little kids. So you'll hear kids playing outside or screaming. And so it's like, so the first few attempts at recording was like, man. especially with having at the time I didn't have a dynamic mic. I had a condenser.
Oh, wow.
So it was picking up every single sound. I'm like, and then if I close all the windows, it blocks out some of it, but then my room gets super hot. So I'm in there, I'm just recording, I'm sweating and I'm recording. I'm like, oh man, this is not fun to do right now. Because sometimes there was this one time I made an attempt at recording. I put myself under a blanket to try and block out some of the noise.
Oh yeah, I've done all that. That's great.
And I'm there. First of all, remember, it's already hot.
Yeah.
And then I'm under a blanket trying to record, so I'm sweating even more.
Okay.
So when I'm done from there, I'm drenched in sweat.
That's funny.
But I mean, the episode got done, right? So that's a good thing. But
it
wasn't the most comfortable environment to record.
Yeah, because the blanket softens all the blows, right? There's no like reverb and bouncing off the walls and stuff, right?